Okay, quick experiment. Somebody tells you, I've been investing $100 a month for the last 5 years. What number pops into your head for their balance right now? 20 grand? 30? Say a number out loud. Actually do it. I'll wait. Because today, I'm showing you the real math, dollar for dollar, year by year, for exactly what happens when you invest $100 a month for 5 straight years. Not the Instagram infographic version, the actual version with the actual account balance, the actual boring years, and the one specific moment where the math finally starts pulling its own weight. This is for anyone who's ever thought $100 a month is too small to matter. By the end of this, you'll know exactly where that idea is wrong and exactly where it's right. And hey, if you're the kind of person who'd rather see the real numbers than a vibe, that's basically the entire personality of this channel. So go ahead and hit subscribe. It costs you nothing, and it's genuinely the reason a channel like Some Knots gets to keep making videos like this one. Okay, let's do the math. Thing number 1, and I need you to brace yourself. Year 1 is going to feel like absolutely nothing happened. Not slow, nothing. Here's the math. You put in $100 a month, $1,200 over the year. Let's say you're doing this the boring, reasonable way. A low-cost S&P 500 index fund, which is basically one ticket that buys you a tiny sliver of the 500 biggest companies in America. So you're not betting on one stock. You're betting on the whole economy. Historically, that kind of fund has averaged somewhere around 8 to 10% a year before inflation over long stretches, though any single year can swing way higher or way lower than that. At a conservative 8% average, after 12 months of $100 deposits, your account is sitting around $1,245. Let's say that math out loud because I want it to sting a little. $1,245 minus your $1,200 in contributions is $45. $45! That's your entire first year of investment growth. That's a mediocre dinner. In some states, that's not even a full tank of gas. I remember opening my first Roth IRA around age 23, making about $38,000 a year at my first job. I checked that account probably 4 times a week for the first 6 months, fully expecting to log in one day and see it had tripled. It did not triple. It did basically nothing, and I almost talked myself into thinking the whole thing was broken. It's not broken. In year 1, compounding hasn't had time to compound yet. You're not being cheated, you're just early. This is exactly the year most people quit because $45 feels like proof it's not working. It's not proof of that. It's proof you're at time 0 of a 5-year clock, and time is the actual ingredient here, not your first deposit.
Thing number 2, even by year 2 and year 3, it's still mostly your own contributions doing the heavy lifting, not the market. Follow the numbers. By the end of year 2, you've put in $2,400 total, and your balance is around $2,594, growth of $194 for the whole first 2 years combined. By year 3, you've contributed $3,600, and the balance is around $4,054, growth of $454. Notice what's happening. Your deposits are the majority of that balance this entire time. This is one of the most important ideas in personal finance, and it gets skipped constantly. For roughly your first $100,000 invested, this is a savings game, not an investing game. Your savings rate, meaning how consistently you show up with that $100, matters more right now than whatever the market's doing. I could hand you the best fund pick on earth, and in year 2, it still wouldn't outrun the simple fact that you haven't fed the machine enough yet. Now, some of you are going to say, then why not just stick the $100 in a regular savings account instead? Skip the investing part. Fair question, 2 answers. 1, most savings accounts pay a fraction of what an index fund has historically returned, so you'd be trading upside for basically nothing extra in safety over a 5-year window. 2, and this is the bigger one, automating this into an investment account removes the decision from your hands every month. You don't need motivation on the 3rd. The transfer just happens. Automate the good behavior so you're not relying on willpower, because willpower is unreliable and a scheduled transfer is not. Think of year 2 and 3 like planting a hedge. You water it every week, and for a long time, it just looks like a stick in the dirt. That's not failure. That's root growth you can't see yet. Thing number 3, somewhere around year 4, something quietly flips. I call it the crossover point, the moment your money starts pulling more of its own weight instead of just riding along on your deposits. By the end of year 4, you've contributed $4,800 total. Your balance is around $5,637. That's $837 of growth you didn't personally deposit. Now, compare that to year 1, where growth was $45. Your monthly deposit hasn't changed at all, still $100, but the growth attached to it just got roughly 18 times bigger. Not because you got smarter or luckier, same $100 a month just multiplied by more time and a bigger existing balance for that 8% to act on. Morgan Housel talks about this in The Psychology of Money, the idea that compounding tends to look unimpressive right until it doesn't, because the big gains show up disproportionately late in the timeline, not spread evenly across it. The math backs that up exactly. Year 1 added $45 in growth. Year 2 added roughly $149 more. Year 3, about $260 more. Year 4, about $383 more. Each step bigger than the last, even though your input never moved. This is why the boring first 2 years matter so much. They're not wasted time, they're the runway. You can't reach the crossover point without walking through the flat part first. Nobody gets to skip that part.
Thing number 4, and this is the one that trips people up the most. If the market drops hard somewhere in the middle of your 5 years, that's not automatically bad news for you. In this exact setup, it can actually work in your favor. Here's why. You're not investing a lump sum once. You're feeding in $100 every single month no matter what the market's doing. That's called dollar cost averaging. And think of it like a subscription to buying stock on sale. When prices are high, your $100 buys fewer shares. When prices drop, that same $100 buys more shares at a discount. Picture this. Let's say year 3 of your 5 years lands during a rough stretch, something like what happened across 2022 when the broader market pulled back significantly for the year. If you kept your $100 auto transfer running straight through that, you weren't losing money you'd already cashed out. You were quietly scooping up extra shares at a lower price with every single deposit. When the market recovers, which historically it has eventually every time, those extra cheap shares recover right along with everything else, except you got more of them for the same $100. Huge disclaimer here, because I don't want you thinking dips are some guaranteed gift. They're not, and nobody, including me, can tell you exactly when they'll happen or how long they'll last. This only works if you stay invested through the drop instead of panic selling, and it assumes the market does what it's historically done over long stretches, which is recover. Past performance isn't a promise, but the takeaway holds. The biggest risk in this 5-year plan usually isn't the market dropping, it's you stopping your $100 transfer because you got scared at exactly the wrong moment. Thing number 5, the number you actually came here for. After 5 full years of putting in $100 a month, every month, no missed transfers, here's where you land. Total contributed $6,000 flat. That's just 60 months times $100, nothing fancy. Total balance, using that conservative 8% average, around $7,347. If you use the market's longer-term historical average, closer to 10%, you land closer to $7,700 to $7,750 instead. Either way, the market handed you somewhere between roughly $1,300 to $1,750 for free, on top of every dollar you actually put in, just for automating $100 a month and not touching it. Put another way, that's a 22 to 29% bonus on your own money for doing genuinely the most boring version of investing possible. No stock picking, no day trading, no charts at 2 a.m. Just $100 on autopilot into a broad index fund for 5 years straight. And here's the part I actually want you to sit with. That growth curve bending upward in year 4 and 5, that's just getting started. Keep that same $100 a month running another 5 years, 10 years total, and the crossover point we talked about gets dramatically steeper because now compounding has a much bigger balance to work with. That's the whole idea behind the first 100K being a savings game.
These 5 years, the ones that felt slow, are you building the base the next 5 years get to compound on top of. I've got a full video on exactly what that next stretch looks like, dollar for dollar. I'll link it right up there and below.
So if there's one thing to take from all this, it's that $100 a month was never really about the $100. It's about becoming the kind of person who shows up on the first of every month, whether they feel like it or not, and lets 5 years of plain consistency do something willpower alone never could. The math doesn't care if you're motivated. It only cares if you kept the transfer running. Until next time, keep showing up for your future self. Peace.